What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Bray Wyatt returning to WWE, Roman Reigns' Backlash opponent revealed, Bret Hart rejects AEW for WWE, Scott Steiner forgives Triple H, a wrestler passes away, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Now, our first story looks at whether Bray Wyatt is returning to WWE. Could former superstar Bray Wyatt be back on his way to the WWE? Well, recent social media posts have fans speculating that the Fiend could pop up in WWE. You may recall earlier stories of Wyatt's previous comments that he foresees wrestling again, as well as reports that his asking price is very high. However, given the WWE's willingness to break out the checkbook for the right stars, might Bray bounce back to the WWE? Well, let's look at his recent post. I do think it's true that he who makes a beast of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man. Samuel Johnson's quote about people who overindulge to alleviate pains of daily life is something you'd expect from Wyatt, who was well known for his cryptic comments during his time as the head of the Wyatt family. Wyatt also added to the intrigue with this tweet, "But if you become the machine, you don't have to feel at all. #WhatIf." As some fans believe Wyatt's reference to the machine could be a reference to WWE, while others think that Wyatt is merely fueling rumors to keep his fans guessing. This isn't the first time that Wyatt has posted tantalizing tweets leading to talk of a wrestling return. Wyatt has been working on a horror project with special effects artist Jason Baker. It's unknown if this would preclude a comeback, but as always, fans of The Fiend would love to see him return to wrestling. Next up, Roman Reigns' WrestleMania Backlash opponent revealed. Who is undisputed champion Roman Reigns going to wrestle at May's WrestleMania Backlash event, and is the tribal chief even going to wrestle? Although Reigns has been absent from television recently, Dave Meltzer thinks the WWE will get things started soon when it comes to Reigns' next victim, or we mean opponent. Meltzer commented on this week's Wrestling Observer, "Roman Reigns will headline, and since they are taping 2 weeks of SmackDown on 22nd April in Albany, New York, they're gonna almost have to shoot the angle for this opponent on the show." As for who will Reigns face, Meltzer mused, Reigns has a brief interaction with Shinsuke Nakamura. For all the other profitable top contenders, Cody Rhodes is already facing Seth Rollins on the card. Drew McIntyre, who's been facing Reigns at the house shows, doesn't have a program and would be the betting line favourite, except that Reigns vs McIntyre makes more sense for September 3rd in Cardiff, Wales. Now, Meltzer noted that McIntyre vs Reigns might not even happen in Cardiff. It's possible that McIntyre on the show is geared for Tyson Fury, as they did start a social media program to build to a match between the two in the UK on a stadium show, but because of the pandemic, it had to be dropped. If that's the case, McIntyre makes sense. Bobby Lashley would also make sense, and he's not listed against Omos on the show, but they are going in that direction. Regardless of Reigns' next opponent, the WWE will have to be careful with whom it books, as there are some stars who could lose some or all of their main event momentum after wrestling Reigns. These include Rhodes, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre. If the WWE is serious about pushing the American Nightmare as its next top babyface, they can't throw him into a losing program with Roman Reigns. As for Lashley, he's better feuding with Omos for now, and it's unlikely the WWE plans on having the Almighty win the title in the near future. In terms of the Scottish Warrior, McIntyre is a viable contender, but someone who could lose a lot depending on how he's booked against Reigns. His failure to regain the WWE Championship and subsequent feuds did nothing to elevate him further, but instead merely kept him in the public eye. Would you guys like to see Reigns wrestle next? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Bret Hart rejects AEW for WWE. Is Bret Hart heading to AEW to manage FTR, aka Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler? Well, that was a rumour making the rounds, particularly when Hart was announced as being in the popular tag team's corner at an upcoming event this June. However, in this week's Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer reports that the fans shouldn't expect to see the excellence of execution in the WWE's arch rival. Bret Hart will be in FTR's corner for a match for the big time wrestling promotion on 10th of June in Webster, Massachusetts. It's FTR with Bret Hart in one corner against Brock Anderson and Brian Pillman Jr., with Arn Anderson in their corner. The reason this is on an indie show and not AEW is that those in AEW are of the belief that Hart quietly signed a lucrative WWE deal that would ban him from appearing on AEW shows, but he's allowed to do the indie shows, so that's a loophole that allows this to happen. If Meltzer's story is accurate, it's another reminder of the WWE's efforts to keep big-name legends from appearing in AEW. Bret Hart is still one of the WWE's most beloved figures, and he doesn't have the tarnished legacy of other legends such as Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. His willingness to show up for AEW events, such as when he unveiled the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view, and his video appearance at Ken Shamrock's induction into Impact Wrestling's Hall of Fame in 2020, probably gave the WWE all the reasons it needed to lock Hart down, especially now that the pandemic is cooling off. Meltzer also reports that the Hitman was not asked to participate in the Owen Hart Cup presentation. Hart is reportedly working on a second book and plans on slowing down his appearances. Next up, Scott Steiner forgives Triple H. Scott Steiner's anger with the WWE has been well documented throughout the years, as Big Papa Pump has repeatedly insulted the WWE, Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and the Billion Dollar Princess's husband, Triple H. So what changed Steiner's feelings about the WWE so much that he accepted an invitation to join the 2022 Hall of Fame class alongside his brother Rick? After all, wrestling's genetic freak also dismissed any notion of joining the Hall, calling it an imaginary place in Vince McMahon's head. Scott talked to the Detroit News about this, explaining, "You've got to let it go, you can't harbour all the bad feelings, you've got to grow up." He also seems to have mellowed since watching his nephew Bron Breakker compete in NXT. With Bronson's dad Rick making appearances in NXT, could Uncle Scott be next? Next up, a wrestler passes away. Now, we're sad to report that indie wrestler Adam Windsor has passed away at the age of 41, apparently from heart issues. The English native trained in judo, studying under Neil Adams, the brother of Chris Adams, before a knee injury ruined his plans for the sport. A lifelong wrestling fan, he sought out a trainer with former NWA Heavyweight World Champion Dory Funk Jr. giving him a try. Wrestling at the Royal Stud, Windsor maintained ties with Funk's wrestling school as a talent and co-booker. We send out our heartfelt condolences to the Windsor family and friends during this hard time. And finally, Kevin Owens challenges an Academy Award winner. Last but not least, KO is challenging an Academy Award winning actor to a bout at WrestleMania 39. Is he about to take on Will Smith? Well, no, he revealed a different opponent, the man who won the Best Actor award for the Dallas Buyers Club, Matthew McConaughey. Owens, who wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 38 and is currently embroiled in a feud with Ezekiel, recently spoke with Corey Graves on the After the Bell podcast about which celebrity he'd want to wrestle against. I did interviews before WrestleMania and people were asking me if you could pick a celebrity to have a match with, who would it be? He's my favourite actor. A few years ago, Matthew McConaughey came to our show. He was backstage. I didn't get to meet him because there was a line of people waiting to talk to him, so I didn't get to see him. I would have loved to have said hi. I remember not long after that, he talked about how he would love to do something in WWE. I don't know him at all, but he seems like the kind of guy who would be coming in to do it right and have a blast. People like that are welcome in the industry anytime. Owens talked about recent celebrities who have shown their respect for the wrestling industry by putting the time in to make sure that they look good when they step into the ring. The former Universal Champion praised Logan Paul's work as well as the entire Jackass crew. He added, "If we're speaking things into existence, WrestleMania 39, come at me McConaughey, I'm gonna F you up." With WrestleMania 39 taking place near Hollywood, the WWE would likely love to have an A-list celebrity compete at its show of shows, but will it be up to the challenge? What do you guys think of the match? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.